After a few adventures with his magic notebook in his own world, the intrepid Scribblenaut Maxwell has taken his wordsmithing skills to the DC universe. Adding a rich index of heroes and villains to its already extensive vocabulary, Scribblenauts Unmasked gives you the chance to rub elbows with the likes of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, using the power of imagination to thwart their foes and help citizens in need. While Maxwell and his sister Lily had peaceful plans for this trip, their arrival inadvertently threatens Metropolis Oa and the rest of the DC universe. The Starites that power Lily's teleporting globe have been scattered, stranding the pair and drawing out fiends that hope to get a leg up in the race for world domination. Meanwhile, a mysterious doppelganger mimicking Maxwell's powers has appeared alongside these villains, using his ability to make criminals like Scarecrow and Lex Luthor more powerful than ever before. As in past games, Scribblenauts Unmasked is all about bringing words to life. You're presented with puzzling predicaments, and through Maxwell's magical notebook, you can type nouns and adjectives to solve each citizen's situation. You can summon a doctor to heal the sick, create weapons and vehicles to help in battle, or make a dinosaur stop moving by describing it as extinct. While you do jump and bash enemies, the action is clumsy at best, and you'll frequently find yourself bestowing Maxwell with some sort of flight just to avoid frustration. At its best, Scribblenauts feels like a mix between a crossword puzzle and a Mad Libs book, challenging you to find solutions that go beyond the obvious, whether that means fixing a bicycle with the cheese wheel or loading up a cannon with a giant jawbreaker. Points are halved if you reuse words, and Mr. Mixelplix will sometimes enact challenging double point limitations, such as using only adjectives, words that start with a particular letter, or sticking with only female characters. As impressive as Scribblenauts is with its galleries of visual vocabulary, it's still no match for what you can imagine, and great ideas can often fall flat. A mad scientist asking for body parts fails to recognize the all-important spleen, and when asked to help woo a fire-based heroine, creative gifts like a jalapeno or a torch are met with indifference, leaving you to settle for a more predictable rose. The objects the game does recognize are quite extensive, and in Unmasked, the vocabulary has expanded to over 2,000 characters and objects from the DC universe, including numerous alternate characters from different eras or timelines. Rather than expecting you to remember everyone off the top of your head, the game lets you browse its database to dive into the heart of DC obscurities. While ardent fans may know about Batman's dog Ace, how many know about Bat Cow or the Zoo Crew? How does the world contain a living street named Danny the Street? Where did that come from? Stumbling across these oddities in their cute Scribblenauts forums is a big part of the fun, and there's nothing quite like typing in the name of a group like the Green Lantern Corps just to see the screen burst forth with countless heroes. After establishing residence in the Batcave, you're free to explore a variety of DC-themed levels. Whether it's Arkham Asylum or Central City, each setting is home to a story mission that leads to one of the missing Starites. These core missions carry you through the game, testing your wits against Doppelganger and the various DC villains. But these standoffs aren't particularly lengthy. Most can be completed in 3 to 5 minutes, and they're just about a dozen core missions, along with 6 extra origin stories. While that can make the game sound fairly brief, the main story missions are really just a small part of the experience. In order to unlock new stages, you need to earn reputation by helping out with the small stuff. Each time you enter a level, it's randomly populated with various problems to solve. You can return again and again for new encounters, and you can play for quite some time before running into repeats. It feels as if there's an endless amount of things to do, but this setup does have its downsides, including a limited sense of growth or progression. Once you've completed the story, it's hard to stay motivated even though you're consistently presented with new situations. Some tasks fit into a level's theme, but setting and level design don't hold much value. Plus, at times, characters placed in close proximity to each other can cause puzzles to seemingly solve themselves, or descend into utter chaos as a villain from an upper level crashes into a problem you're trying to work out down below. Players that want to take their creativity a step further can customize their own objects and characters to share online. You can mix and match parts, change colors, establish superpowers, and even get into the nitty-gritty of AI behavior. And while this is a DC game, we've already spotted Marvel favorites like the Hulk made by other players. It's easy to see the allure and potential of Scribblenauts' core ideas, and the addition of the DC Universe and Unmasked only broadens that appeal. It's neat to experiment with language and summon your favorite heroes or see surprising effects on the world, and it's at its most fun with a friend brainstorming with you. Still, with the awkward action and haphazardly placed puzzles, there's a lack of direction to unleash that potential, making it hard to stay interested for the long run.